to survive and do what God wants you to do, you have to learn to think like a snake. Good morning, I'm Gail Woods, the pastor of the Churches of God Holiness on Brack. But what a strange thought. If you're going to survive and do what God wants you to do, you have to learn to think like a snake. But really, I'm just repeating what Jesus said, so there has to be something to it. Matthew chapter 10, verse 16 says, "Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpent and harmless as doves." In this verse, Jesus commanded his disciples, as he's commanding us today, be as wise as serpents. The word serpent is the Greek word that simply describes a snake of any kind. But it's used here as a sign of kindness and cleverness. I don't like snakes, not at all. And so Matthew chapter 10 verse 16 is perplexing to me. I've always thought of a serpent as being only evil. Their hiss reminds me of sin. But as I meditated on this verse more deeply, I began to gain insight about what Jesus was saying. He was saying that serpents are wise and we need to take a lesson from them. If you're a little squeamish about the subject of snakes, just stay with me for a few minutes so that you can see what Jesus is trying to tell us here. He's the one who chose to use a serpent to make his point. Let's consider the behavior of serpents and see how Jesus is trying to get across something very important for us today. First, serpents blend into their environment when they move into a territory. Rather than announce their presence, they lay low, stay quiet, blend into their surroundings. In fact, you could walk right past a snake and not know you're close to it. Most snakes have the ability to be nearly invisible because they're designed to be camouflaged. This camouflage serves as a protective covering. Even the fiercest aggressor can pass by, but the serpent would not likely be noticed because it blends so well into the landscape. The camouflage gives the serpent latitude to find its way around a territory, to move about freely while evaluating a situation. Serpents will assess a situation to identify places of shelter so they can settle into their environment. They find hiding places to protect themselves from attack. They observe where to find the easiest prey. And when all of these assessments are made and the facts are assimilated, the serpent is ready to act. And this settling in is a key time for serpents. Now, can you see the parallel between the behavior of a serpent and Jesus' strategic plan for us when we're working for him? Jesus said there's wisdom to glean from such a study. This analogy applies to all of us in regard to our families, our businesses, our ministries, or any other opportunity that God places before us in which we must implement his strategies in order to establish his victory on earth. When God calls us to do something for him, sees an opportunity, it's wise for us to move slowly and carefully into that phase of our life. A common mistake is to move too quickly. Acting hastily before all the facts are gathered and assimilated often leads to erroneous decision making. In fact, one serious mistake can cause us to lose out on an opportunity altogether. It's better to stay low, stay quiet, blend into the environment for a while, and learn from the facts that we observe. God is a strategic planner who delights in giving you the wisdom that you need in whatever venture you're undertaking for him. Your part is to move forward by his grace and according to his guidance in your life. And as you do, you'll be able to secure the victory that he's planned for you. And so, learn the landscape of your environment. Determine what kind of attacks could potentially come against you. Take time to really understand the opportunities around you. Make sure you're completely informed of all the pertinent facts that will help you adjust smoothly and move forward in fulfilling your work without unnecessary delays or detours. Pray diligently about the information you gather and seek the Lord's wisdom on how that information applies to your life. This is how you emulate the strategy of a serpent. Then, when the right moment comes, the opportunity strikes, you can seize your divine moment with the grace and the favor of God. But how can you be sure you'll recognize the right moment to strike? Well, that'll have to be the subject for another time. In the meantime, remember that you're always welcome at the Cayman Brac Churches of God Holiness. We'll look forward to seeing you in our fellowship soon.